Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE sinking deeper into red territory today, even though we did get some positive news out of China and locally. Out of China, we did get the manufacturing activity there, surprising to the upside as it's October PMI going into expansionary territory. Locally, we did have a cooling down of producer prices at 1% in September, but the JSE failing to make a turnaround into green there. A sea of red, all share declining more than 1.5%. The Resources 10 complex nose diving by almost 3%. Industrial 25 following in the same direction, being the second loser there. Out of those indexes, declining almost 1.5%. The Financial 15 carrying the least of those losses, slowing by 0.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the U.S. markets. Of course, tech earnings disappointing there from Microsoft and Meta. But also, we did get some data there. The PCE inflation print cooling down to 2.1% in September, close to the Fed's target. We also did get initial jobless claims there decreasing. But a sea of red, S&P 500 declining almost 1.5%. Tech-heavy Nasdaq slumping almost 2.5%, and the Dow declining by more than 0.8%. Let's check in on what is happening with markets across the Atlantic. In economic data, we did get a Eurozone inflation for October. They're surprising to the upside with an acceleration of 2% compared to the 1.7% that we saw in September. That negative sentiment filtering through to those markets as well. 4100 declining almost 0.9%. The CAC 40 losing almost 1.5%. And the DAX are shedding more than 1%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Relatively flat against the US dollar at 17 rand 66, against the pound at 22 rand 74, and against the euro at 19 rand 17. Let's check in on how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.08, pound dollar at 1.28, and the yen at just below 153 against the US dollar. We did see the Bank of Japan, they're keeping interest rates unchanged.